I've been sitting in front of this Google Doc for a good while. I told you guys if there was something I had to say, I was gonna make a video, but I have no idea how to approach this. Should I make it a podcast? Should I try to edit it? But if I try to script the video, then what am I gonna say exactly? I feel like when it comes to this subject in particular, it's so personal that it kind of feels wrong to sit down and try to script my thoughts. And it's weird, and I'm kind of not making sense to myself, but I decided to just turn on the mic, record myself talk, and then in post see what comes out of it, what matters, what doesn't. I've been reading a lot of comments in response to one of my more recent Overwatch videos anyway. Obviously, I've been doing other stuff in between, and a lot of people said that in spite of me saying that a lot of people, including myself, are excited for the new hero and the hero changes and all this stuff, that nothing is gonna change. And I've been rewatching some of my videos and thinking to myself that a lot of the core issues that I see in these types of comments are rarely ever addressed in YouTube content. Because the things that really matter to YouTubers, who more often than not are competitive players, is competitive play. And we always talk about how, like, oh yeah, the game is gonna be so much better with these balance changes, everyone's gonna have more fun, boosted players are gonna get out the high ranks, blah 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 blah. And then I sat down and thought about how long has it been since I played competitive? And I mean more than just dabbling in it. I mean legitimately sitting down, grinding, caring about the competition, and putting in the hours. It's been forever and 3 days, let me tell you. I have not been caring about Overwatch competitive play in way too long. And it kind of puts into question, why am I always talking about the game from a competitive perspective when even to myself it really doesn't matter? I'm looking at myself right now. What am I doing? I'm kind of excited about the new changes coming to Overwatch, all the things that are upcoming, right? I said how we're in this awkward in-between space where, yeah, we know what's coming. There's a new hero, there are hero changes. Overwatch League Stage 2 is probably going to see all these changes as well, and I'm excited for that. I'm looking forward to all the new things, to see how the game changes and to see how pro play changes. Because right now, Overwatch League is really boring to me because of the GOATS meta, and the game is not really... It's not that I hate the game in the sense of I don't want to play it because it's bad, because quite frankly, if you play quick play, GOATS isn't what's stopping me from playing. What's stopping me from playing right now is the fact that I'm having more fun in other games. And if you think about it, the game is like 3 years old right now, and in that time, complete games have been made. And Blizzard has barely updated Overwatch, period. And if you look at what they did add, a lot of these things arguably made the game worse. If you look at some of the maps that the community really doesn't like, you know, in the sense of Horizon Lunar Colony, some of the heroes that the community really hates, like Brigitte, obviously. And you start wondering, is the new map with the new hero and some hero changes gonna change all of that? I mean, if there was ever a time to be excited, it is now. Overwatch League is running. We all know for so long already that Overwatch League is that thing that makes money. It's like, it's now this time where Daddy Activision finally allows Blizzard to actually make content because they can advertise it through the platform that is the Overwatch League. They can push the game and their moneymaker at the same time by finally investing into new content, new updates, and trying to have the community be, you know, more positive towards the game. And obviously it always depends on who you ask. If you look at a lot of the Overwatch League fans right now and you ask them, hey, how are you feeling about the game? They're having a great time. I've seen a lot of people like, yeah, Overwatch League is really hype. I'm always rooting for my favorite teams, love playing. I've been trying to improve my tank play and all that kind of stuff. So I can see how the people who do like all that stuff are having a great time right now, not understanding what the other camps are complaining about. And I've been wondering, how has this been going down in the past? Because we've had so many bad phases, bad meta phases in competitive play where everyone was seemingly hating the game and then the new patch rolls around, but we always end up in the same cycle, don't we? We always end up with like a couple weeks of everyone having a much more positive mental attitude, everyone much more willing to work together, people who care about comp coming back to it, improving the quality of matches, and then we realize that these core problems that are never addressed are still never going to be addressed. And they leave again, and we are mad again, and the new meta starts to form, and we hate that meta even more than the last one. So let's take a look at what is really the problem here. What's causing players to not want to play? One big thing that I think YouTubers stop talking about something because we know it's never going to be addressed, are Smurf accounts. Blizzard have openly said that they do not care about Smurf accounts in the most direct sense possible. They said they are not a problem. The game has been on sale so often and it's been getting cheaper altogether, and everyone has so many accounts that it doesn't matter if you're in quick play or in competitive play, chances are you will come across a bunch of Smurf accounts all the time. And obviously their philosophy of like, hey, their skill level is gonna be adjusted, blah 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 blah, does not work, because that only works under the prerequisite that they are playing at their own skill level. But the whole point of a Smurf account is not trying as hard. So they will be slated lower in their MMR, playing against people who are way worse than them, and whenever they feel threatened or whatever, they will pull out this ace. They will pull out their main hero and they will start trashing on everybody, and these occasional games where they trash on everybody are not enough to be adjusted to a higher bracket. That means these people literally indefinitely stay in low ranks, ruining the games for quick players and competitive players. And while we're on the subject of competitive and quick play, what is even the difference? I've seen a bunch of forum posts of people saying that they are tired of people treating quick play like comp. People who start yelling at others for trying to have a chill time and play whatever. People who get toxic in a casual environment when people just want to have said casual environment. We're getting back to all these things where Smurf accounts are never addressed, barrier to entry for competitive play is never addressed, the difference between comp and quick play is never addressed, so that competitive players end up playing in casual and casual players end up playing competitive, and then both of these camps are having a bad time because people are not gravitating towards the game modes that were designed for them because they were designed poorly, with no incentives to go towards what would usually be your preferred way of playing. Because where's the difference? Honestly, the difference between comp and quick play is that comp gives you rewards to buy golden guns. That's the only difference. And that's why so many casual players are playing competitive without giving a damn. And then you end up in a situation where all the comp players are super salty because others are throwing their games, quote unquote, and then they end up being so mad that they go on their Smurf accounts to do their stupid unranked 2GM challenges just to be like, feeling good about themselves. Because yes, the more you play, the more your SR is gonna be quote-unquote normalized. You will find your rank if you play enough competitive play, but that does not make the immediate experience of winning and losing with very little influence for set wins and losses any better. Fact is simply that the overall user experience in Overwatch is bad. And the reason that this is becoming more and more of a problem the older the game gets is because the novelty of Overwatch as a new game is gone. And you have to reinvent yourself to keep people interested. Now that the game is not new anymore, all these very basic fundamental issues are surfacing and bothering people more than they did before. Nobody was really complaining about, matchmaking or whatever in the first season because everyone was so busy just being excited about a new game and learning said new game. But now we're like 25,000 seasons into competitive play and everyone is just jaded. So with knowing that all these core issues are not being addressed, and with all these new games being out right now with like Apex Legends and The Division 2 and whatever else have you, with these games just being fun based on their own merit and having that novelty of being new games, what does Overwatch have going on for itself to attract that audience back or even sustain that audience that they have? I think when people say that Overwatch is dying, they just mean that it's not going to be a top dog in popularity anymore. If your game is not number one, essentially it's dead in the eyes of internet trolls and what have you. But at the end of the day, it's a Blizzard game. You don't have to worry about not finding games anymore because every single Blizzard game, no matter how old, is decently populated. You don't have to be afraid of Overwatch literally dying and literally not getting any updates anymore because it's Blizzard. Blizzard have made a massive investment into the Overwatch League, and as long as the league is going, the game too will see updates. Sure, we're gonna have these times that are very barren when Overwatch League is not running, as long as the connection is there with having to sync the update cycle to the professional play, but at least you know that this is the time where things are going to happen. At this point, I'm rambling a lot. I don't even know where I'm going with this. I'm just saying that everything that's happening right now we've already seen. The novelty is gone, the problems become obvious, and people realize that now. Sure, a lot of people are still interested, and a lot of people are still excited, but when you think about it, as long as matchmaking is not being fixed, as long as Smurf accounts are not being addressed, as long as we don't get a significant overhaul to the structure of competitive play, As long as all of these things are not being addressed, all the new heroes they add, all the hero changes they give us, and all the other new content that is coming are merely band-aids. And even things that we are super excited about because we've been speculating about it for so long, like a story mode, which, we still haven't had any confirmation on. Even if a story mode was to come out, I'm not sure that this would be enough to sustain their player base in light of the fact that all these core issues are still there and that everything else is just, it's supposed to lure them in like moths to the light, but the light is going to go off eventually, and then they're going to leave again. And that's not to say that it's like a terrible thing. It's not to say that this is the only game where this happens. I'm just saying that I understand where all of these comments that I've read come from, where people say that they don't quite understand why I was as excited and hopeful as I was, in light of the fact that everything we are getting right now is not new in the sense of we have already seen it. We have seen new heroes. We have seen the effects of new heroes being added to the game. We have seen balance changes after balance changes. They take forever to come out, and more often than not, create something that is worse than what we have played before. When I realized that, it kind of struck me how, again, the reason I'm not playing Overwatch right now is because that novelty is gone. It's not because I think it's a bad game, but because other games are simply more fun right now based on their own merit. And I've made a promise to myself that once the new patch is out, which is hopefully going to be in a couple of days from this video going live, I'll go back to Overwatch, I'll see how the community feels in the game, how people respond to the new things coming in, and how I feel about the new stuff coming in. Because right now, I see absolutely no reason to put down the Division 2 and my gear grind that is kind of important to me before the raid is coming out, and play Overwatch instead with everything in the game that I've already known for 3 years now. And in that same vein, I don't see why I would pick up Overwatch over Apex Legends when I feel like having arcadey fun with my friends. And I think for me, as a person that enjoys games, learning new things is something that really, really interests me. And there's just nothing for me left to learn in Overwatch right now. And I genuinely don't know if the only thing keeping me in Overwatch is the fact that I have amassed this community that is more or less expecting Overwatch content, as opposed to anything else I can do right now, which I am more excited about. Again, I don't really know what that means at the end of the day. Like, I just kind of try to do what I'm passionate about, and I hope that resonates with somebody, and obviously with the YouTube algorithm and all that kind of stuff. I am shooting myself in the foot big time. YouTube is not very friendly to quote-unquote one-trick gaming channels that try to branch out. That's just fact. A lot of creators have a lot of problems moving away from the one game that they are known for, but I don't want to sit here 3 years from now, if it turns out that I don't like Overwatch anymore, still making that content only because YouTube doesn't allow me, so to speak, to do anything else. And I genuinely hope that Blizzard has something big in store that has us wanting to come back and stay there. Because right now, more than wanting to play Overwatch, I want to play Overwatch, if that makes sense. I want to have this urge back where I say to myself, yeah, I want to play Overwatch over game XYZ, because Overwatch is simply more fun to me right now. And right now, I just can't say that this is the case. And I fully well expect all the comments of the people saying the only reason I make Overwatch videos is just because the only thing I get views for, and you know what? Maybe there's a certain amount of truth in that. Maybe I still feel connected to this game because of my community. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not. I'm still trying to do what I'm passionate about, and I just don't have an answer, honestly. Maybe it's time to grow up and get a real job like everybody else, instead of sitting on this stupid YouTube channel trying to make videos that nobody cares about. Anyway, this is it for today. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Do you think it's too little too late for you? Do you see yourself coming back to Overwatch, or are these core problems what keeps you from playing as well? I'm curious to see what you guys have to say, and I don't know when my next Overwatch video is coming out. If you are interested in either the Division 2 or Apex Legends, then feel free to check out some of the videos I've made on these games. But for now, I'm out. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time.